It's the SKOR North Twin Show.
Yeah, it's a reckless speculation Thursday across the SKOR North network of podcasts. And so we bring to you a couple things today on the SKOR North Twin Show, where we just want the Twins to win a damn playoff game for the first time since the first George W. Bush administration, okay? It's time. It's time to make some trades that can help you get there in October here. So we're going to do some trade fodder. Oh, look at that. The magic number countdown, too, Declan has here. It's still 58 games.
Yeah, we've been on 58 for 48 plus hours. But yes, the countdown is still on. I would love to update this graphic.
What a graphic, too. Our graphics team here is just incredible at SKOR North, led by Declan. Send in your applications if you'd like to do
please
graphics
do.
for us, actually.
You'd love that. Declan would
Please
love
do.
that.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
So we'll go over the latest sort of trade fodder, and we'll do our Immaculate Grid challenge, which has been all the rage. But, gentlemen, just first and foremost, your thoughts on the Twins punting on Jorge Lopez. So they made that trade with Baltimore. They traded 3 young sort of development prospect pitchers, and then the best pitcher in the bunch has been Yennier Cano, who was awful for the Twins. He's been one of the best relievers. So they traded 4 pitchers for 2.5 years of control on Jorge Lopez, and it's been just nothing but a bumpy ride. And they wind up with 1.5 years of team control left. They trade him yesterday to the Marlins for Dylan Floro, who's an 8-year veteran right-handed reliever. He's also struggling this year. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the season. He has a better career track record than Lopez, but it's kind of like a change of scenery, swap of pitchers here. So what were your thoughts when you saw that come across?
I don't think it's recency bias or out of line to say this. The 2022 trade deadline, in which the Twins acquired 3 players, if you include Michael Fulmer from the Tigers, might be the worst. And you have to be positioned to try to make the trades. I get that. Might be the worst deadline moves in franchise history. It's 2 disastrous moves. I mean, the Lopez one is bad, but at least he could pitch. Tyler Mahle cost you 2 really good prospects who are both now with the Reds, and Spencer Steer is contributing and having a great year, and I think would easily be playing third base here right now. And Tyler Mahle is going to walk coming off Tommy John, having given you almost nothing.
Yeah.
So I think if you combine the Lopez trade and the Mahle trade, I don't think it's a stretch to say in situations where the Twins deemed themselves to be competitive, and it didn't even work. They didn't even make the playoffs, that this is the most disastrous trade deadline in franchise history.
I'll say it's the worst possible outcome. Like, I know I'm Mr. Trade Prospects, but that was the worst possible outcome. I mean, when you really think about trading all those prospects, it's very rare that all 5 of those guys are going to end up contributing to their other teams. Like, no one saw Yennier Cano being this guy that would be an all-star with like a 0.6 whip at the first half of the season, right? And the point I made to Judd, too, and yeah, it stunk. It's been bad, but it also should not prevent you from making future trades. Don't be so scared because one trade deadline didn't work out that I don't know, man. I got burned last time. I can't make another trade. Don't let what happened to you last year prevent you from making additions to your team this year either. I'm not saying gut the farm system, but it happens. Sometimes you make bad trades. And also
they did gut it though.
There's nothing to gut now. That's their problem.
Well, I'm saying like if they wanted to, they're not going to trade Brooks Lee and those guys, but like if they wanted to trade their top guys, that's obviously, of course, still on the table. My point is, don't let one bad trade deadline distract you from making additions to your team either.
I think my concern would be that it's not. I agree with you. Like, I don't think it should make you gun shy. I just worry that they don't know what they're shooting at, like with their guns, and they, going back to the Paddock trade too, where it's, and I know that you can say, well, Taylor Rogers, the wheels fell off anyways. It's like, no, this is about asset management, and they've just done a really bad job of asset management. So you've got, in the Baltimore trade, here are 4 pitching assets, young pitching assets, or 3 young pitching assets, and then Cano is like 29. And then in the Reds trade, here are a couple, young hitting assets that you have, and you're willing to trade like 6, and then go back to the Paddock trade, right? You've got a relief pitcher who's one of the best relievers in baseball for a chunk, and then you've got I think it was Brent Rooker, right? So there's like 8 or 9 assets that you have. And you're going to send those assets out because you want pieces that can help you win right now. And you wind up with two arms that were already known to be either like a torn UCL and then a bad shoulder that could lead to other things. And then, the Lopez thing. And by the way, I praised the spirit of these trades last July because much like Declan, I thought, hey, you're in win now mode, man. You got Carlos Correa, Byron Buxton, trade future pieces for current pieces. But now that you kind of look at it from 30,000 feet, Lopez has been in the major leagues for 8 years. He's had like one good 3-month stretch, and it was the 3 months leading up to the time you traded. Like, you traded for him at the exact wrong time. You traded for pitchers that were injured. So it's just more evidence that the asset management here has been a problem, and that's what I don't trust. Like, it's not that I wouldn't be afraid to trade Matt Wallner for Paul Goldschmidt or whatever the trade is, but I just don't know that I can trust these guys to manage these young pieces and whatever's left of the farm system correctly.
Well, and what I want to know right now is where are the team control folks? Because that's what we heard, right? Well, Chris Paddock, he's not going to pitch for a year plus, but team control. They got team control, okay? Lopez, you were so willing now to trade him that you traded team control away for no team control. So that gets back to your point, Phil, which is what should we trust about them? Like, it's not our job in the long run to have been like, well, we should have known about Paddock's arm, which, by the way, we did at the time, or Malley's arm. It's their job to have this vetted as perfect as possible. As we talked about with Dukes. I mean, clearly, unfortunately, Lopez had some issues. If this was the first time the Twins had traded for a guy with issues, that'd be fine. But they traded for Dyson, who turned out to be a first-class jerk. That one spring, when we were all excited again, they signed Logan Morrison, Lance Lynn, and if I'm not mistaken, Addison Reed. 3 complete jerks who poisoned the locker room for a season. So, yeah, I'm with you. My whole thing is, and I know the spin controllers are they try and move the sticks, right? Move those sticks around. Now it's team control. Now you're getting something for Lopez. Now it's this. Now it's that. I think the trust is eroded and largely gone.
Yeah. This kind of feels a little bit like, I think it was like kind of the end of the Billy Smith and then early Terry Ryan run where I can't remember where the chain stopped, but there was the Johan Santana trade for Carlos Gomez and then some other pieces. And then you can kind of follow the trail of like, then it was Gomez for Hardy and then Hardy for Hoey. And it's like, there was a stretch there where, and there was actually, those regimes actually made some great trades in and around that, especially before that. But it's kind of this famous like, oh, look what they turned Johan Santana into. Follow the lead down to Jim Hoey, right, over the course of a few years. This feels a little bit like that now where it's like, okay, here's 4 pitchers to the Orioles. And it winds up being for like a half season of Jorge Lopez and then 2 months of Dylan Floro, right? But I will defend this particular trade. Not the tail of it that goes back, in the process. But if you're just asking me who would I rather have for the next 2 months and change, Jorge Lopez or Dylan Floro, I think I'd rather have Dylan Floro. So they've both been in the big leagues for 8 years. Floro's been a reliever for basically his whole career. They're both right-handed. Floro has a career ERA that's 2 runs better than Lopez. Lopez has had just an atrocious career for the most part. Floro has a better career strikeout rate, a better career walk rate, gives up a lot fewer home runs. This season, both guys are kind of struggling. Floro's what's called fielding independent pitching, which is like an expected ERA, is 3 runs lower than Lopez's this season. So he's expected, it looks like if he just continues on his path, much like Griffin Jacks, to straighten this thing out. And I would say, and this is neither here nor there necessarily, but Lopez has never pitched in a playoff game before. Floro has pitched in like 15 playoff games, and most of them in the league championship series and 5 World Series games with the Dodgers over 2 years. So you're getting a guy that, like, at least if he gets in a big playoff game, close game in the 7th inning, he's not going to have his pulse fluttering out of his neck like some of the inexperienced pitchers. So I actually like just looking at this particular trade. All right, you're punting on a year and a half of Lopez, but you're probably getting the better pitcher down the stretch. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah, but back to your term of asset management, the problem here, and it's not Cano. Like, Cano is a great surprise. in a year he might be in AAA. Who knows with him?
But why
It's
did he
the
pop? Why did he pop with the Orioles? As a
Well,
question?
sure, but also the prospects. You gave them some prospects too. And if one of those guys comes up and is good, that's the thing is you've so badly like to get if Lopez was a guy that they had signed off the street and he gave him a good year plus and then went in the toilet. You know what? You make this trade, you're like, okay, well, we got a year plus. But the fact is you so screwed the pooch on this now. Like these are the things that have to be or should be answered that Derek Falvey should have to answer to the poll ads about. Like, why is one thing that these guys did fairly well, not on pitching, but across the board, fairly well, was they did replenish the farm system so that it was trending pretty well a year plus ago, right?
Yeah. Well.
And now to Declan's point, don't be afraid to mortgage it, but what's left? Like you've gone to the basement and cleaned it out. Like you've gotten rid of a lot of things. And that's the that's where I mean, I'm sorry, but that Reds trade, how do you not know that you were trading for a guy with a bad arm? How do you not know? And I know the medicals are hard to get.
I think they did, but they were willing to take on risk. They were like,
but the return's incredible for the Reds. Again, I would have taken on the risk for the right prospects, but you traded away two guys that have, that are going to, it looks like, contribute. That's my problem with it.
So here's it. Let's kind of move into the latest Twins trade fodder, because now the question is, okay, what's done is done. We can sit here and we can kind of rehash the mistakes they've made, and we certainly do that on the show. But what can they do now? They're in first place. They've had a nice run. They did lose a couple tough games the last couple of days, but they're on a nice run. They get Kansas City this weekend. They're going to be in first place at the trade deadline. What can they add, and what would they have to give up? And here's one of the conundrums they have. Of their top 10 or 11 prospects that are left in the organization, unless I'm missing a stone to turn over here, Brooks Lee and Matt Wallner are the only two of the top 11 that are really on it right now. They're performing well. Their stock is on the rise.
Sure.
A lot of these other guys are either injured, sort of broken, or struggling, like Emmanuel Rodriguez, the outfielder, struggling. Connor Prelip, Marco Raya, Simeon Woods Richardson. There's a lot of guys here, Austin Martin, that are either injured or struggling. So again, of the two of your top 11 prospects, one of them, Matt Wallner, dude, you might need him in the middle of your lineup to go win games, right? To go win a playoff game. Mm-hmm. And then Brooks Lee is the number one prospect in the organization now that Royce Lewis has graduated to actual major league player status. So, how willing are you to give up your best asset in Brooks Lee that hasn't surfaced into the big leagues yet, or one of your current best hitters on your major league team and 6 years of control in Matt Wallner? It would be nice if you had 5 other guys that were at AA here, and you just had
they did
guys that you felt comfortable doing, and they've had that, but they've dealt away a lot of that prospect depth. It's a tough conundrum.
And they have to figure out if they want to mortgage some things on their major league roster, right? Do they want to sell Kepler? Do they want to sell on a Trevor Larnach, who is also graduated from the prospect list, but also is a first round pick that probably could just use a more everyday playing time, right? And there could be teams looking at these fringe top 12, 15 prospect guys and seeing what the Orioles did and what the Reds did. And I'm not saying they have to sell on a lower guy, but they look at what is happening with these Twins prospects and they're not being developed, and then they can pluck them away and figure out a better way to develop them too. So I don't think it's just black and white. Oh, they don't have anything in the basement. They don't have anything to give anymore. I think they still have something to offer, but they have to figure out, to your point, to get a little bit more creative, because some of the stuff that they've already given away last year that blew up in their face isn't at their disposal either.
Yeah. So here's a couple interesting nuggets here that Declan sent over just kind of in the last 24 hours. We'll start with this one from Jeff Passan, ESPN.com, as he recovers from breaking his back because a tree fell on it.
He is hashtag back, yes.
Good for him.
So it says Minnesota could be a bigger factor in another year, but its taste buds for deadline deals are, for now, deadened. Last year, in deals to get right-handed starter Tyler Mahle and right-handed reliever Jorge Lopez, they sent Spencer Steer and Christian Encarnacion Strand to Cincinnati, and they sent Yenier Cano and all the. This is everything we've talked about. In hindsight, those deals look brutal. The Twins still could add to boost their chances of making a run in October. They're just more likely to be looking for value additions rather than making a big splash. One of their left-handed bats, Max Kepler, Trevor Larnach, or Matt Wallner, could be made available to get the return they desire. So Passan's making it sound like probably not going to be a Paul Goldschmidt splash here for the Twins this year.
It's not. And the thing about this too that I think is not being discussed, but it's probably important, is the Twins are now that guy sort of near the basement of your rotisserie baseball league who you assume you can rob. So you call him up and you're like, I got this prospect here and I got this guy there and you're going to give me this. And I'm like, well, that's not a good trade. And you're like, but you make bad trades with everybody. Like, I can only imagine the calls that Falvey is getting now, right? You know, trying to just get as much, like, because you're literally picking the pieces off the dead bird here as the prospects go. So I will be shocked if the Twins make a move that we consider to be like a big move. I could see another reliever or a right-handed bat, but I don't think they're going to give up a lot. Personally, I would trade Kepler right now, but they're not going to.
Okay, would you, because this came across today too. Well, two things. The Angels likely are going to hang on to Ohtani because they're close enough in the division, close enough wild card to make a run, and they feel like the offers are underwhelming. So it's also a way to just like get teams to up their offers, but they might hang on to him. But there's another report too that the Padres, who've been trying to win the World Series the last few years, and they've made a bunch of aggressive moves, but they're just kind of buried too in a division race, that they are listening on Josh Hader, who's back to being the dominant Josh Hader. His ERA is now under 1 this might be the best year of his career. ERA under 1. He has allowed 4 earned runs all season in 40 appearances. But you'd almost certainly have to give up. It might take Brooks Lee.
Yeah, I'm not going near
to get rented Josh Hader. But
I ain't going near. My team ain't good enough. I ain't going near that one. No, I'm not giving up Brooks Lee.
I know Declan would consider.
I love Josh Hader. Like, legitimately one of my favorite players in baseball over the last 6 years. Just an insanely good firearm pitcher that can come in any situation and basically and get the outs that's needed. I can't give up Brooks Lee for that. I can't. And Brooks Lee's tearing the cover off the ball. That dude legit might be a top 20 prospect in baseball by the preseason going into next year. I mean, he's killing the ball in Double-A. He's going to be in St. Paul probably in any minute.
This is where team control does factor in for me. That if you were telling me it's like the Lopez deal from last year, but it's Hader. If I get a year and a half or something of Hader, I'm in on this. But this is where having that depth. If you had a bunch of other dudes behind Brooks Lee, you'd feel much more comfortable. But he's like the one ace you have right now in your hand. So, but dude, imagine a bullpen of Hader into, or the other way around, into Duran or
yeah, that'd be great.
And then Griffin Jacks is like your 7th inning guy.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic.
So, and this is from Brittany Garoli. One more thing here on the trade fodder front. This is from Brittany Garoli. Used to cover the Orioles for MLB.com. Now she's at The Athletic, Nationals beat writer. The Twins, sources say, initially thought about trading Kenta Maeda to upgrade elsewhere and then add Dallas Keuchel to their rotation. But Maeda, who had a brutal start to the season, he gave up 10 runs against the Yankees in that one game. He's been superb other than that game. And it kind of lists the stats here. It would be a hell of a return for the win now Twins to consider that, with Maeda making a case as one of their best starting pitchers. The Twins could theoretically trade Keuchel, who's on a minor league deal and does not have a no-trade clause, but it's unlikely. Barring an injury, the Twins will roll with their current rotation and seek an upgrade to the bullpen to snap an 18-year playoff series win drought.
Wouldn't Keuchel have to approve that trade? He's got an opt-out. So can you trade a guy with an opt-out? And, like, what are you going to get for Keuchel, too? I mean, he's pitched well. The Maeda trade idea actually would intrigue me because he is a pending free agent, dependent upon what I could get. Yeah. But, you know, I think if you're the Twins, the reality is this. If you're going to make trades to bolster your roster now, I'm with Declan. I think it needs to come from your roster. I don't think it needs. I wouldn't go into my prospect pool, partially because I don't think that there's going to be a great amount of intrigue. But, you know, I would not dismiss trading Kenta. I would not dismiss trading Kepler. If I can get a piece that, you know, if I get a right-handed bat back for Kepler, which this team needs, I would consider it, and I would certainly consider trading Max before Wallner, because there, again, for you team control fans, and I know you're out there, that's what, 6 years of team control for a guy that looks like his bat can play.
Yeah, Wallner looks like he doesn't have any sort of like Larnach has gone through these stretches where it just looks like, now maybe once teams get more of a scouting report on him and they come back around, because he does have a lot of strikeouts.
And Larnach's not really getting a chance either, though. They're playing him, then they're not, then they're sending him down, then they're not. Declan's all hazy, then he's not.
Here, let's do this. Let's put Declan full screen here, so he can.
Oh no, he's better now. He's got. Oh no,
hold on.
Oh, he's still hazy.
Hold on. No. You come out.
Now you're hazy.
Back in.
By the way, this is just to be clear here, folks. Yes, these are our studios. Phil and I are at our home studios.
I don't know if we're gonna unhaze Declan here, but that's kind of the latest on the Twins trade fodder front, and this will probably continue to pick up steam. Just some of these conversations over the next few days. So they get the Royals this weekend, and then the trade deadline is it Tuesday? What's my?
Yeah, it's Tuesday, I think. But yeah, they'll probably win 3. They should win 3. Win at least 2 against KC. I mean, KC's a dumpster fire.
Yeah. You guys want to do another Immaculate Grid challenge here?
If we have time, I'd love to.
To the task. We got 5 minutes on the clock
time
here, right? We okay?
Okay, good.
Yeah,
okay.
we got time.
Let's
do it.
I love how confused Royce was earlier this week still too. I don't understand.
I don't think he wanted to play. Like,
is it like I've heard some
it's
people
not confusing.
say people have tweeted and sent in like emails that not a lot of people, but that it is kind of confusing. I guess maybe for the audio audience. But I don't know.
The only slightly confusing thing is the third category, like 100 RBIs and 200 hits. Like that's slightly confusing, perhaps. The team thing is not confusing.
Yeah. Well, let's put 5 minutes on the clock here, and let's pull this up for the YouTube audience. You're going to see basically a baseball tic-tac-toe grid on your screen.
Oh yeah.
And we need to be immaculate. We need to get all 9 grids correct, or all 9 boxes without any incorrect guesses. So we're looking for a Cardinal who was a Giant, a Cardinal who was a Padre, and a Cardinal who won a Gold Glove. We're looking for an Angel who was a Giant, an Angel who was a Padre, and an Angel who won a Gold Glove. And then we're looking for a 40 home run season from a Giant, a 40 home run season from a Padre, and a 40 home run season that also won a Gold Glove. I don't know if that's same season, but I think they had to have done both in their career.
I think it's just both now. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's a clarification.
5 minutes on the clock.
All
the
right.
more obscure, the better, but we also just want to win. So here we go.
Old school Giant Cardinal Jack Clark.
Oh, wow, dude. Let's
75
go.
to 92.
Yep, that's it.
Only one. Okay.
Here we go. I'm going to give you an obscure
9%.
Padre who hit 40 home runs in Greg Vaughn.
Oh, I was gonna go with Nevin.
That's obscure too.
Both good.
Greg Vaughn.
Nope. Oh, yep.
Oh God, Greg Vaughn.
VAG.
Okay.
Yes.
Jeez.
Well, you didn't have it spelled out, and I didn't see it spelled out, but then I saw that it still
What
showed
do we
up.
got
Okay.
there? How many? What percent?
11.
11%.
Maybe Nevin would have been the guy.
I can give you a this guy won a Gold Glove in 2019 with the Cardinals, but it was with a pitcher,
Okay.
Mike Leake, who also pitched for
What?
the Cardinals and Giants.
Okay.
Mike Leake.
Leake,
We'll
right?
trust the confidence here.
Yeah,
Bob
that's
Feller.
good.
It's a Bob
Yeah.
Feller situation.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it!
Oh, wow, it is.
Oh
What
my
happened?
God. Oh my God.
What just happened? What did you do?
Ah,
What? I thought we talked about
Dude,
trying
that
to
was
get too cute.
full confidence there on
that
the
was
Mike
full
Leake guy.
confidence.
Oh my God.
Oh, you know what?
Another Bob Feller situation.
You know what? He won a Gold Glove. He did win a Gold Glove. It was with the D-backs. It was with the D-backs.
I feel like there wasn't nearly enough conversation there, and I feel
Yeah.
like we're again.
I
Why are we
screwed
getting
that.
so
I screwed
cute?
the
We
goose there.
ultimately
I
we
screwed the
want the
goose
grid to be right.
Dang it. I screwed
This is like the 4th time this has happened in the last 10
We've
days
all,
doing
yeah,
this.
we've all.
Well, Judd
got
hasn't.
ourselves in the
It's
foot.
been you and me that have done it.
That's true. All right.
I'm done doing it. This whole like go rogue with an obscure.
Yeah,
no,
we're
I will say
killing
Bob
it.
Feller still makes no sense to me. But
No,
I
but we're
digress.
shooting ourselves in the foot with this. Like, oh, let's get 1%. Oh my God.
All right, well, let's try to finish strong here. Let's at least get some reps in here. We got 3 minutes left.
All right. Okay.
Okay, we need a Giant with a 40 home run season. I mean, Barry Bonds. Did Will Clark ever hit 40 home runs? I don't know if he did.
I don't think so.
Let's get cute. We already got cute once. What about Jeff Kent? Did he hit 40 home runs?
Ooh. Jeff Kent.
Willie Mays probably hit 40 home runs, right?
Yeah, I don't know about Jeff. Jeff Kent had
McCovey.
some
Willie McCovey?
big home run seasons. Yeah, try that one.
Willie McCovey.
Try Willie McCovey. Stretch. Yep.
16%.
There we go. Okay.
Yep. Stretch, man. He's a great player. Loved Willie McCovey.
Let's knock out the Gold Gloves. I mean, Mike Trout won a Gold Glove for the Angels. Who else won Gold Gloves? Oh, what's his name? Shortstop, twin shortstop.
Simmons.
Andrelton Simmons, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Let's go with him.
Yep.
Oh, okay. St. Louis. I mean, the can we still do that or no?
You can still do it, yeah.
Yeah, we can still try. Take a shot.
Ozzie Smith won a ton of Gold Gloves.
Yeah, that would have been the guess.
Oh, God.
But we went with Mike Leake.
Mike Lee.
I got way too cute.
So
Should we go Ozzie Smith or take a flyer on
On Mike Leake. Asset management.
All right.
Okay. How about a 40 home run season that also won a Gold Glove in their career? Ken Griffey Jr. It's an obvious
Yep.
one.
Yep, that's a good one.
All right, let's do Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, let's try and finish out strong.
Okay.
Disappointment very high right now. All right, so a Giant who was an Angel. No, that was a Cardinal. Oh, I'm glad I didn't say that.
Who was an Angel?
Yeah, Giant.
A Padre who was a Cardinal. Well, that would have been Ozzie Smith too, right? We burned the Ozzie Smith guess on the Gold Glove.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. Oh, Gary Templeton for Padre, who was a Cardinal. He was traded straight up for Smith. Gary Templeton, TEMPL. TEM.
Is it spelled differently? What's this?
I don't think so.
Just
Gary?
do Templeton.
Yeah, just spelled Templeton. Gary. Yep,
Oh, 2
there he
Rs.
is.
2 R's. Tricky. Gare with.
Yep, Gary Templeton, who once flicked the fans off,
Nice.
much like Burt Blyleven.
All right, we have 40 seconds left. We get one more guess to either do
All
an
right.
Angel who was a Giant or an Angel who was a Padre.
Angel, who was a Padre. I'm trying to think old school here.
I'm lost mentally right now.
I was all prepared for this, and now I'm just thrown off completely. Angel, who was a Giant.
I mean, yeah.
I am. I'm.
Lackey didn't go to the Giants, right? Lackey went to the.
Cubs,
He was Cardinals, Cubs,
what Red Sox.
Yeah, 8 seconds. I don't know, man.
This is not good.
What about? All right, how about this?
Orlando
No.
Cabrera? No.
I don't think so. Maybe. I don't know.
The West Coast.
We got to
I mean,
burn a guess now, so I got to
we're out
put
of time
something in.
now. We're out of time.
It's over.
There you go. Just try it. See
Just
what
try.
happens.
Oh, what he did?
It was
He
correct.
actually,
There,
he actually
thank
did.
you. Wow, there that one worked.
Nice,
Okay.
Actually did.
nice.
Yeah.
But yeah. So who was a who was the obvious Padre? Who was an Angel?
Yeah, click on that one.
Hunter
Matt-
Renfroe.
Matt Carpenter.
Oh
Oh, a Cardinal who was an
no,
Angel.
it was the
Sorry.
Angel. Yeah, Hunter.
You know what's
That
funny?
was-
I was gonna say Hunter Renfro and just didn't for some reason. I don't
A
know
Cardinal
why I
who was an
didn't say
Angel wasn't. You mean a Giant who was
Padre.
an Angel? Judd? Because a Cardinal who was an Angel wasn't an option.
Oh, Padre, who was an Angel. Yeah,
Hunter Renfro, yeah. Tim
Renfroe.
Lincecum would have been a good one.
I forgot about him pitching for the Angels.
it. Yeah, didn't know that. Interesting.
All right. Okay,
All right, guys,
we're
we
done.
need to make a pact here that we still need to have it's almost like a
Let's stop trying to go rogue.
like a breather period, you know, like when you go in to buy a gun at Walmart or something. Like, hey, maybe just take a week to think about it. Like that's us with these obscure guesses.
Maybe take a week.
Just calm down. Is there like a calm down period
Oh my
before we
God.
get
All right. No.
too excited?
Sounds good.
All right, there's your Immaculate Grid challenge here on the SKOR North Twin Show. Appreciate you hanging out with us because, like, we can all agree we just want the Twins to win a World Series or win a playoff game, and then a World Series would be nice before we die.